What is good, guys? Coach VC here, breaking down the Nadal and Zverev battle on clay. I'm going to do some of these match play analysis. If y'all like this and you're interested in having one of your matches analyzed, I'll just look through, make sure you comment down below, and you got to send me a link. The first two I will do, the first two to respond and provide a link, so there'll be no dispute who wins that. So we are looking at what happened to Nadal versus Zverev and 3 reasons why Nadal lost. Now understand, this matchup for Nadal is already a very difficult matchup. They played a few years back. Zverev tore ligaments in his ankle and it was ultimately tied. Nadal had won the first set, and I believe Zverev had numerous opportunities to win the first set in a tiebreak. They're in the second set, about to start a tiebreak, or just started, and Zverev loses, injures himself. So that match was 3 hours in, and it was probably going to be 1 set all. So this is a nightmare matchup for Nadal for a variety of reasons. One being, remember, there's 3 games: the game through the middle, the game through the deuce court, and the game through the ad court. And through the ad court, Zverev can absolutely train wreck Nadal's forehand cross court, even when he hits a decent one. So when Zverev is defending out of that corner, he can still punish Nadal and essentially punish Nadal even when Nadal hits the ball he wants. So that is not what Nadal wants, especially first round. I think that was kind of it was a very close match. So let's take a look at what happened. Remember, first two to comment as far as giving me a match play link. I'll go through your match and look at the critical moments and tell you what you need to work on. So here, but when we watch what happened here with Nadal, this is more a showing why he lost. I think he already knows what he needs to do. So let's take a look. Let's see how this unfolded. So we have here, I think this first point starting off, we have a righty Nadal here, shoots his forehand line, and a lefty Zverev. You can see that is not the best start for Nadal. I think that is one of the main things that cost him. And so here you can just kind of imagine the Zverev forehand down the line when Nadal did not put the ball deep enough with enough ball intensity. Zverev did hit his forehand down line, and we are looking at a slower version of Nadal. So that is a little bit unfair for him, because some of those a younger Nadal would have been able to counter that. So here we're going to see, there is Zverev that steps in, hits that rocket backhand. This is obviously from the deuce court, but for the sake of my software system, I flip things around. And this is a nightmare matchup. Nadal getting swung way out wide. You can see he's barely getting back. And Zverev can do some damage there. I think Zverev missed a step in backhand. And this is another situation that I think caught Nadal off guard a little bit, because when they typically play, you can see when Zverev is typically going to plow through that ball, and he mixes this in enough, something Djokovic does, and you can see Nadal's not really looking for it, and it's too late. A younger Nadal would have gotten there, but it is not younger Nadal. So it's still early in the first set. Let's see if we see a few other dynamics here. See Zverev can finish with the backhand for even from the middle. This is what Nadal wants. He gets a good heavy ball there. He sees Zverev is willing to step in and hurt him. Now, this is to me the critical moment when he serves for the set. What the point dynamics were. You can see Zverev's one taking the cut down the line. Nadal can barely defend that. And that's an easy overhead for Zverev. I think that's about 15. And we're into this next point here. Let's see where we are. As far as that. Quick flip here. So here Nadal is getting pressured in that forehand corner, and this is where he's usually a little more ready. This is a ball that he needs to shoot line. He chooses to go safe, and then that allows Zverev to step in, and then he's got too much backhand power, and Nadal's speed is not what it once was, and that got by him. So that's love 30 here. Nadal flattens out a backhand. He does get a middle ball there. That lands a little bit too short. Good depth by Zverev. And you can see that is Nadal is really not expecting that. But when Zverev is up 30 love, that ball is just easier to hit, and no one's home for Nadal. When he plays Zverev, he is leaving that open. It is, but this is again a nightmare matchup for him. That forehand down the lines for Zverev. The fact that Zverev can counter Nadal's heavy forehand cross, it doesn't really do much. Zverev's a tall, lanky guy. All that kind of compounds Nadal's problems, and Nadal even said in the post-match, he would have would have been nice to have a few matches to get into it, because I think also the the fact that it's a first round helps Zverev more than Nadal, because the later the tournament, we have seen Zverev show moments of his second serve does get fairly nervous. So let's see here. This is the break point to get it back on serve. Zverev is great return, gets the ball in the middle, pressures Nadal into that corner. Space is open down the line. Nadal's not really there to cover it. Forces the error. That is it. We are going into that into the tiebreaker. And then the other aspect, I think that was really broke down Nadal's that usually I don't want to say he does it well, but definitely not this bad. His backhand return definitely let him down. Here I think Zverev just double faulted to give him a 15-40 at 5-all. Remember, you just got to imagine the flip here. So there it's 15-40. Nadal has a pretty routine backhand, and he just floats it long, not very much spin. And then the next point, Zverev throws in a bomb, and that is just about it as far as looks like we are going to the tiebreaker. So here we are. Where are we here? Look what happened here. Real point. You can see that little chip angle from Nadal was a good one. He got it low. The deuce. Add point here for Zverev. Nadal's getting pressured in that corner. That's the ball that you can't explain. You can't convince me otherwise that Nadal wouldn't have been there at a younger age. This shot right here, coming up. This is young Nadal. He's going to get there. He's going to sling that line or deep middle, deep cross. He'll make it. But this is no longer young Nadal, so... So that's just my notes. There, definitely the. This is the first point. See, Nadal's getting pressure into the backhand corner. Zverev, that forehand down line, creating some pressure. Nadal, this is great defense by Nadal, but you can see what Zverev is able to do from that, and it just gets behind Nadal just enough. And if you notice, guys, this is another thing. Oh me, oh my. The players move on a diagonal back pattern, especially because the ball's coming so fast. So if you're not practicing that, you're in essence practicing something that is going to come up, and if you aren't comfortable with that, you are basically training to lose just by not training that. So let me see. It's a cannon line, stretch slice, just a little bit wide. Nadal loses that first point. Here's second point. And Zverev, the other tactical adjustment he did is he was willing just to stay back and hit the crap out of Nadal's spinny lefty serve. And Zverev was willing to get into these long exchanges. And that was definitely causing problems for Nadal. There's Nadal firing a good backhand down the line, recognizes, closes in. That's good. Good start there. Let's see what I think we're at 1-1. There, Nadal gives up a short middle ball. Zverev overcooks that, gets the point. See what we got score-wise here. That makes it 2-2. So that makes it 2-2. This is a body slice there. Gets the air. We're at 3-3, and we're gonna switch sides. This is a 3-3 point. Again, you can see, I mean, that should not. Where Zverev's hitting from, Nadal is completely, I mean, that's not a big forehand for Zverev, and he is completely caught off guard on that. So Zverev is obviously, even his weaknesses, which is his forehand down the line, these guys, once they round into peak form, even their weaknesses, can at least move it into the spaces they need. That was not a huge forehand, but that is also a fast and young Nadal is not bothered at all by that shot. So comes in, and this is a ball I'm sure Nadal would like to have again. He had a fantastic look at that. As you can see here, he's got a great look at that. And, you know, the angle has to be sharper. He kind of hit it, so he's gonna have to live with that wide air, or he's needs to hit a very good lob over Zverev's backhand through the window, through over here. But he didn't hit it bad. It's still a good volley by Zverev. That was a fairly critical point. Gives Zverev a 4-3 lead. And then I think this is where Nadal, let's see. So 4-3 Zverev here. Nadal gets him pinned to that backhand corner. It should go line. It does go line. Zverev, great defense, tracks it down. And now, this is a ball, if Nadal can hit a magic angle slice, sure, that is a ball that I feel he should hit a good deep slice through the middle and try to get Zverev to come up with a forehand from there. He does not. He tries some magical, trying to get a little magical angle, and you can see Zverev is there comfortably. There's nothing Nadal can do. 5-3 Zverev pulls Nadal off the court. Gets a short ball. That's served wide. And this is an incredible get by Nadal. Now, when you're playing, lefties, whenever you're in this situation, they're going to give you this window here. They're going to give you this wind. This looks like a lot of space, but you can see Nadal's just going to sprint before Zverev makes contact with the ball. He's already gone. And that should just be a little chip angle slice. Nadal would not have been there, but still an incredible runner. 5-4. Here Nadal gets him in a good, pins him back. And you can see how far back Zverev is. Nadal moves into the other corner. And I think Nadal had already decided that he's going to, if Zverev's going to be that far back, he's inside the baseline, he is going to make this play. I don't have as much of a problem with it as most people, but obviously hindsight's always 20/20. If you it's not going to work, obviously you're not going to play it. But Nadal, he's trying to shorten some of these points, and he's so I'm not going to disagree with his decision here. It did want to go way up too high, and now he's in a guessing game. He guesses wrong. Zverev now has set points, in essence match points, because Nadal coming back from 2 sets to love down. That is, not only is that really hard, but Zverev can relax a little bit. So 4-6. That's a good ball. You can see here almost the exact same scenario. Zverev is nowhere to be found there. Nadal hit a better drop shot. Nadal was making deliberate drop shots. Once he had Zverev moved back, he would move in. And if he saw that open, you see Zverev's not covering that. It's still a very good drop shot. But now it's 6-5. And this is where, the backhand return for Nadal did not perform as it needs to. So, when you have someone like Nadal and he's missing backhand returns, he's going to need some matches leading in those first few rounds. I think that's what he wanted. Here you can't have any lapses like this. That return just goes to the net. That should go long. I will go over a little bit more, but that is, to me, the brunt is of the. Nadal serving for the set had 15-40. Zverev serve with a backhand return that normally he's going to make. He doesn't make it. And that's also why he probably netted that one. He remembers he flew one way long. But that's the hard part. These guys are. And that's this last point. That's kind of what Nadal. He's kind of expecting those errors from Zverev, but Zverev is very much in form, and he was not giving Nadal very many of those. It's a big backhand by Nadal. There's just one more. When Zverev broke Nadal here, and now in the third set, Nadal he was up 2-0. There were some critical moments there. I'm not going to go too much into that. I do want to get to the break when Zverev breaks Nadal here in the third set, and you can see there's another forehand on line that did the damage. So see if I can find this. There's a stretch where Nadal is just like fighting to survive these break points. And Zverev holds easily at 3-all. Trying to find when he broke. So this is, all right. So here we have 3-all. And this is going to be, I think, the game that Zverev is able to break him. That is the break point. So we can take a look here. This is where you say it's very good. Too good by Zverev. That is a good slice wide. And that is just a huge return. And that is, to me, just about it. Now, we could argue that maybe a younger Nadal doesn't serve a volley there. I'm not a huge fan of serving volley on critical moments, especially to your opponent's strength, which would be Zverev's, because they're going to come up with those shots more often. But I'm not going to argue with Nadal. So let's see there. That is it. And that is the break he needed. And then the rest of the way. It's kind of just going through still a lot of the points were still very close. Nadal had obviously opportunities, and Nadal's going to fight to the very end. But that forehand on line gets behind Nadal, good defense. But look at that. And this is just another example of, Nadal hits the ball exactly the way he wants to. You can see where Zverev is. And he puts Nadal in trouble. And Nadal, this could work, but that's, to me, that he needs to, if he's going to slice it, he needs to chip it deep line. Or I think he could have just hit another forehand topspin down the line. I think he decided to drop shot. That's not a good read for Nadal. So here, let's see. It's a nice ball. It's good overhead. And there, this is where you get the feeling, yeah, this is a break point for Nadal. He's got Zverev on the ropes there. He's got to step in backhand, just overcooks it. And that is it there. Chance to break. Zverev cleans that up. Another break point. Let's see, gets that forehand outline behind him. The younger Nadal probably makes that. The margins are very small here. And this is exactly why this is a nightmare matchup for Nadal. Nadal it's an incredible backhand down line. And then he hits for him, a pretty good forehand cross. But you can see where Zverev is hitting from. And the amount of angle he puts on that ball. That is just a nightmare for Nadal, and that is not what Nadal wants to see. There's just not many guys that can do that from those positions. So here we go. I think this is getting close to the end. I'll try that backhand on line, does not connect. Yeah, Zverev is feeling good now. Zverev all of a sudden has a great inside-out forehand. He usually goes inside in with that. It's just those are things that when you watch these matches, there's not too many points separation between these guys. So you can see the main critical points to me for Nadal were his backhand return let him down. That's against in this matchup. His backhand return needs to be better. I did not disagree with his drop shot. There's some people that would say the drop shot there's only one where he was kind of on that stretch forehand. That to me was not a great decision. And then he just wasn't clear in the critical moments. And then also the Zverev forehand down the line. was a big component. Nadal has to have a better day with his two-handed backhand, the backhand return. But a lot of it, we're going to give credit to Zverev. As you can see in the title, a new king. The guy that beats Nadal, with the exception of a few times, is going to be the one that I'm going to give the favorite to for the French. So my pick now would be Zverev, but there is obviously Sinner still there, Alcaraz, Tsitsipas, Djokovic, and Ruud. I think those are the ones that, if anyone besides those guys wins it, that would be extremely shocking. But I'm going to go with Zverev, even though he has yet to prove he's going to serve well enough at the end of the match, at the end of the tournaments. But I think he can do it. So Zverev can maintain his composure and play like he's been playing. I think he won Rome, so he's obviously in form. A bummer that Nadal did not get a few matches, and then getting to let's see what he would have done later in the tournament. This would have been a fantastic quarter or semi-final, but that is tennis. You know, they should have something to protect the ranking for Nadal. They should have like a clay court. His clay court UTR rating is like a 30, so he should be always just a, even if it's an unofficial seed, something. All right, if y'all like these types of videos, comment down below, let me know if that is what y'all want to see. I can do these types pretty easily and explain what is actually going on in the matches. Remember, when you're changing directions, you have to, are you changing directions to move the ball, or are you changing directions to increase intensity and take a risk? Those are two very different ideas. And then always your trajectory of how you're hitting the ball is important as well. Keep thinking about those things when you go into the practice court. I always tell players, change directions, but use a loop, high, spinny change of directions to throw the balance of the point, the dynamic of the point to change that. You'll see, you'll get your opponent to retreat back. That is something Nadal is incredible at. A shame that that might have been the last time we see him at the French. I think he'll be ready for the Olympics. Coach VC is